Speak Studios. Speak and be heard.
From the corner!
Jack, Rob Sacre. I'm Jack Ferris. It is Friday.
Oh man, thank God.
July 8th as we record this.
Dude, since I've been doing this new job, I look forward to Friday. Because I've always had to play on Friday.
It's important to have Fridays mean something to you.
Dude, now Fridays are like, oh, thank God it's Friday. I understand that term now.
Thank God, TGIF.
I never understood that term.
And guess what, Rob? As people are listening to this, it is Friday.
It is.
Our new day is now Friday.
Yep.
Mondays, over it. Brennan, our producer, was like, screw Mondays.
Yeah.
I said, hell yeah, Brennan.
Yeah.
Fridays, bro.
We're going right into the weekend, partying, you know.
Well, we're Friday guys. We're not Monday. You don't need us on Monday.
I've never been a Monday guy.
I don't like talking to anybody on Monday, let alone you.
No, I get it. I completely get it. Dude, so I had this lady. She goes, "Is that Rob?" And I'm like,
"Where are you?"
I don't
set
remember.
the stage. Where are we at?
I was just at an office, and she goes around. And, "That's Rob." I'm like, "What? How do you know?" She goes, "Your voice." And I'm like, "Is my voice that? Is it unique like that?"
Dude, 100%.
I didn't know. I don't know. Is it raspy?
Look,
I feel like I need to get off the black and milds.
You listen, Rob. This is saying something.
I don't.
And I'm saying this
self-conscious, and I'm never self-conscious. But I was like,
you
whoa.
are a 7-foot black Canadian cowboy.
Yeah.
And I do think your voice is the most like unique thing about you. So that's saying something.
Okay.
Your voice is insane in the best way.
No, I don't know. Because I honestly don't listen to our podcast. We were there. I'll be honest. I was there. I know what I said. What's there to talk about? Like, I don't need to go back and, so I don't really listen to it. And it's not, and you probably know this too. There's a lot of people who are self-conscious when they hear themselves for the first time.
Yeah. Well, you've heard yourself plenty of times.
Many a times. So
yeah.
I didn't know if my voice was just like just a unique voice, or if she just was like, I don't know. It was just a weird thing for me. Because it wasn't.
Okay. I'm sure that happened. I'm not calling you a liar, but I have a hard time believing that it was the voice that you recognized and not the fact that you're 7 foot tall.
What was wild was she was around the corner and she goes, "Is that Rob?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I could see that.
I'm like,
I could definitely see that.
yeah, this is me. And so it just threw me off. I didn't think my voice was that unique, but I guess I'm very fortunate. I'll toot my own horn.
What was her name? Uh-oh. Put you on the spot. She's definitely listening too. Oh, no.
Oh, man,
Well, thank you for listening out there, Rob, voice recognizer.
I won't, she was nice.
Today is the last day. We're in the Speak Studios. Big thanks to producer Brennan.
Brennan, you did a great job, brother. And Jack, thank you for coming up.
Hey, pleasure is mine. Super fun. 5 awesome guests over the next 5 weeks for you guys. Today is Mayor Woodward.
Holy.
It's crazy.
She's awesome.
She has a lot of things to do day to day.
No,
she did not have to come talk to us.
Well, and that was the one thing I was like, I am not going to be late for that woman.
Yeah.
I will not be late because I know how busy she is. She's like, what did you guys, a hard 130?
Oh, hard out.
Hard out.
That was the first time you heard a hard out?
I never heard that term.
That's a media thing.
I know it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was. You're like, a hard out at 130? I'm like,
yeah.
Oh.
That means drop dead, she's out of here at 1:30.
Yeah. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? I was like, this is crazy. They got new lingo and shit.
She was great. We talk all things. I think I promised her we weren't going to talk politics. We get into politics like 7 minutes.
How do you not?
We was like, wait, how do you not talk politics?
It's
with the mayor.
Exactly. It's self-explanatory.
So she was great. Confirmed there is a parade route for a Zag National Championship. It's drawn up. She wouldn't tell us what it is. I'm spoiling the podcast a little bit.
Street Bridge.
Monroe Street Bridge is a focal point of said route.
I get nervous. There's fencing. I would just get nervous. People are like,
well, dude, the 50th anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge in like the 80s, it almost collapsed because they closed it down, right? And no cars allowed, but people were just allowed to walk on it. Yep. There were so many goddamn people on the bridge. You can look up pictures of it. It almost collapses. It's like swaying. It was very scary stuff.
Really?
But the Monroe Street Bridge is concrete. I think we're good to go.
Get some.
Good to go. Special thanks to Nadine. Big, awesome interview. If I have one criticism of the Speak Studios, Rob, one criticism.
What would because I've been entertained
By what I'm about to tell you?
Well, I don't know when you say anything about criticism, it makes me nervous.
Okay. Well, it's partially my fault because I showed up today in gray shorts.
Oh yeah, the swass on this guy.
Now
is
I got some
I
swamp
don't
ass.
check out, Brendan. I don't really look at man's asses that much. To be honest, if all. And this guy stands up and he goes, "Do I have swass?" Buddy, it's real.
We've been sitting here. There's no air conditioning. The door is open. We got several fans going. It's not Brendan's fault. We're making the most of it. It was honestly, this is, I've been here all week. I should have known not to wear gray shorts.
That is the most uncomfortable feeling.
Well, here's the thing about, you call it swass. Here's the thing about it. Once you know you have it.
Oh, you're done.
In my head the rest of the day.
Well, that is me when it comes to just sweating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I need to stop sweating. And then all of a sudden, you just start pouring.
the Nadine interview. You sprinted to get here.
Well, yeah, I sprinted to get here. And then she starts getting into some heavy shit about COVID. And I'm like, oh, boy. This is...
You should have popped the shirt off. That would have been great.
She wouldn't have been able to handle this sauce.
That would have been
She
great.
wouldn't have been able to handle the sauce. I know that for a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, great weekend. We talked a little bit about Rob's political future. I think we're going to start small with Rob.
Yeah,
you remember what we talked about?
Yeah, well, I remember what we talk about, but I just am saying, I just get nervous with the whole. Well, I guess you can do whatever in politics, but those skeletons scare me. I think if you own it, though.
That's the thing. You got to come out and claim it.
I own everything, but I don't feel like anything coming out at me surprising me.
It's the skeletons you can't think of off the top of your head. Those are the problems.
That's what I'm saying. The ones that are like, I didn't think about that 20 years ago or whatever. And they're like, well, you did that to your dog. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Mayor Nadine Woodward, if you're listening to this, thank you so much. Please, please, please follow us on YouTube, right? Speak Studios, Brennan, Speak Studios. Follow us on Instagram, Sack and Jack, Twitter, Facebook. We're all there. Content. The reason I'm up here, the reason I'm getting swamp ass is for you.
Oh, and it's disgusting. My appetite is gone for the rest of the day.
Poor Nadine's going to listen to this.
She knew what she was doing stepping into this room.
We're nothing if not honest.
Yeah, honesty is the best policy around here, man.
Oh, we didn't get a picture with our last guest. I'm just realizing now live on the podcast.
I knew that, but
it's okay. We got a million pictures of him.
He'll be a politician in here soon.
Okay. Anything else, Rob, before we turn it over to Nadine?
Man, I'm just grateful that you were able to come up here and we were able to do this in studio. It was fun. It's so different when you're actually here.
It's night and day. I don't think people get it. I mean, maybe people will.
But do we? And we need their criticism. Do we sound different?
Yeah, it might be the no lie that Brennan's been pumping me.
I've been cracking some beers on this one. I got to pee soon.
Well, is this on? Can you see all the empties on the? That's not very professional.
I think it's very professional if they become our sponsor.
No lie.
No lie. Come be a sponsor.
I'll let them know.
Talk to me.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. He's Rob Sacre. I'm Jack Ferris. Here's Mayor Woodward.
From the corner!
Last time we had you, it was December 2019, and it was Mayor-elect Nadine Woodward.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't even in office
Nope.
yet.
Nope.
Nope. How's it going?
Yeah, how's it been?
How much time do you have? It's good that we're, on the other side of this global health pandemic. State of Washington's open, happened June 30th, so a lot's happened in the last year and a half.
I think when you ask anyone this question, public servant or not, you always start with, take me through kind of the week when things started unraveling for you. Because I think from our perspective, a lot of it happened in the sporting world.
Yeah.
The NBA shut down, and then a couple days later, it felt like the whole world shut down.
Well, it landed in Spokane before we had our first case here. Mm-hmm. So in February, I got a call from the federal government that 4 COVID positive patients from the cruise ship were coming to Spokane to Sacred Heart Medical Center's special pathogens unit. because we had 1 of 10 in the country that could deal with patients like COVID positive patients.
right.
That's based off of the Ebola stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, our staff here had trained 4 years to get to where we are today. And so it was not oh, by the way, can you receive these patients? It's they are on their way. They will be there in 24 hours.
So a call from the federal government. Whatever you're doing, you drop what you're doing and you pick up the phone?
Absolutely.
Is that what's going on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it was nice to get a 24-hour heads up, and they were here for quite a while, and they all recovered. But that was our first entry into this pandemic.
And so you had been on the job for less than a month at that point, I'm guessing.
Started January 2nd.
Okay.
And just a month and a couple weeks.
At that point or before you received that phone call, what did you think your biggest challenge was going to be a year and a half into
I
the
was
job?
in the process, even in the transition stage, when I talked to you guys back in December of 2019, at hiring, there were a ton of positions that needed to be hired. And the former governor, the former mayor, David Condon, it's hard when you've only got a year or two left on your term to actually get good people
Right.
to come work for you because they don't know what their future is going to be, right? Plus, he wanted the next mayor to be able to hire their own staff.
Yeah.
So I was in this frenzy of hiring as many people as possible. There was a city administrator, there was a CFO, there was all kinds of cabinet level positions in addition to other department heads. So that's where the zone I was working in before that call.
Okay, so that call comes, and then I'm guessing you think, all right, there's a little speed bump. We're going to handle it. Did you think that, from mid to late February to late March, the whole world would shut down?
I don't think any of us
Right.
did. I don't think we ever envisioned the state of Washington being the epicenter of this
Yeah.
at the very beginning.
What a freak show. I'm getting hot talking about this. I'm just like, geez, what a freak show. Oh, man. Like,
Literally, you were wiping your head off. You
Yeah,
are.
I'm like thinking about all this crap, and it's just wild to think
stresses
we
you
were.
out.
It does stress me out.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting a little nervous. Like
It's kind of I get anxious just talking
yeah,
about it.
like, holy shit.
Yeah,
This is a
PTSD.
lot, man.
PTSD.
And you just came into it like green, really green. And
I absolutely, I don't think any veteran politician was prepared for something like this, let alone somebody who's in public office for the very first time in their life.
Yeah.
So there's no way to prepare yourself for this.
I can't imagine, because you were a public figure for 30-odd years before you
30
took
years
this
here,
role.
35 total, yeah.
So you're used to speaking to the public, putting things out there. I am sure that your number one struggle was you're getting this information from the state government, from the federal government, and on one hand you want to come clean to the people and say, hey, I'm getting information day by day, minute by minute, just like you guys. We're doing the best we can. But you also need to take that leadership role, right? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Like that must have been a struggle. You wanted to let the people know that you were going minute by minute as well, but also you needed to have this position of strength.
Yeah, I mean, I was putting out videos every single day during the height of this pandemic, just to communicate out to the community what we were doing at the city level, but also what the community needed to do to respond to this pandemic as well.
And when you were getting information, did it feel like you were getting mixed information from multiple different sources?
Absolutely.
And that must have been the hardest part right there.
Yeah.
And so Rob and I could talk about this guy's telling me this lady's telling me that, what a you-know-what show, but you can't
have
do
to
that.
be that person. You have to be the person that tells everybody.
Right. You don't have the luxury of throwing up your hands and being like, I have no idea.
Absolutely. And to be an elected, I mean, there were, we're a border county to a state that dealt with this completely differently than Washington did. So we had extra challenges on this side of the state. And my whole approach was, Governor, you and I don't agree on everything, but you have to listen to what's going on in our neck of the woods, on our side of the state. All the decisions are made on the west side, but you have to come over here and know that our job force, for the majority of it's hospitality. We're a regional hub for everything, not just jobs and healthcare, but arts and culture and restaurants and all that. Hospitality is huge, and that's what shut down and stayed shut down for the majority of this pandemic. So we already had people making minimum wage, living paycheck to paycheck, and then their businesses shut down. They were no longer employed. We're next to a state that's almost fully open while we're struggling to survive. You got to listen to us over here. And I advocated for that, and I forced that. And finally I got to the point where I was having every other week phone calls with top staff with the governor's office. In 2021, he's been over here 4 times when we didn't see much of him before that. So I'm very thankful that he did listen. He responded and he listened and he came over here.
That's good, at least.
On a personal level, I don't know how far you want to peel back the curtain. Hopefully quite far. But, I mean, I have to imagine you had plenty of sleepless nights going through this. Like, how did you, as a person, get through day to day? Was it just talking to your husband? What was your support system?
I think everybody has PTSD after all this. My dad died my first month in office in January and unexpectedly. And then I had to take care of my mom, who was on her own for the first time in 6 years with Parkinson's. So I had that going on. So everyone has their own journey and their own challenges. But, being an elected, the mayor of the second biggest city in the state, and then at the personal level, trying to juggle all of that. Yeah. I'm a faith person, so I firmly believe God doesn't give you more than you can handle, but this has been one heck of a test. And we've been chosen to be doing what we're doing at times such as this. So I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
And so I've been able to deal with it. I've leaned on my faith a lot during all of this because nobody can do this alone. I have a great team. I don't have to do this job alone. So that's what, and I have a lot of people praying. I have people praying for me, for the city. That has buoyed me through all of this. So, I don't have to rest on my own laurels to get the job done. I have a great team.
If we could go back to December 2019 and have a conversation with you were 35 years old, December 2019, so 35-year-old Nadine Woodward. What advice would you give yourself a year and a half ago without spoiling the future?
Okay, well, this is what I tell everybody because everybody asks me the question, if you knew you were going to step into a global health pandemic, you probably never would have run for mayor. And I tell people there's a reason we can't look into that crystal ball.
Absolutely.
And know what's coming down the pike. We're not supposed to. Because if we did, there are days we would not get out of bed.
Sure.
I mean, if we knew we were going to lose a child, if we knew whatever that is, it is what it is, and you get to work.
Talk to me.
That's what it's about.
That's why I like you. That's why you're all right, Maj. You just don't play no victim. You didn't, she's not woe is me, Jack. She's just straight to the point, like, you know what? I can take on anything. That's the best. That's really what it is.
Do you think your background in journalism, dealing with moving parts, things changing minute to minute, hour by hour, helped you? Because you weren't in a position where you could just mandate anything and react off of that. You had to change things by the day, right?
Jack, I mean, you and I worked at KXOY for how many years? And I thrived in that breaking news environment. Producers hated me because they would work all day on a product and then it would be thrown out the window a half hour before news time because we had breaking news and we had to shoot from the hip and just go for it. My job as mayor, as soon as the pandemic hit Spokane, was breaking news every single day. It was crisis management every single day. And although I thrived in that environment when I was in broadcast journalism, doing a year and a half of it is a bit much.
Yeah. And the stakes are much bigger.
But, it really did prepare me for the type of environment that I have worked in the last 18 months.
We talked a little bit off air, but what good do you think has come and will come from COVID, both locally and maybe statewide?
My election, my race was really a referendum on homelessness, and I want to do some great work in that area. And we have, even under COVID. Under COVID, we kept all of our unsheltered sheltered. We brought new shelters into the system. I mean, we've done some amazing things. New programs we're bringing on. Federal funding help with some of that CARES money. Now we're getting ARP money, American Rescue Plan money. We're getting $80 million in the city. But the one silver lining in all of this is our response to COVID forced the region to come together to address it. It's not just city-centric. We don't just do this at the city side. We joined the county. We joined all the cities in the county, and we came together to address COVID. That's also set the stage to addressing homelessness. So I've always said homelessness is not a city of Spokane issue. It's a regional issue, but we have all the resources here. We have to get our regional partners to the table and start funding it and start addressing it, and that's what we're doing for the first time. We've been meeting for a full year on this issue.
I'm hoping there's some kind of text thread with you, the mayor of Boise, the mayor of Portland, maybe the mayor of Seattle, where you guys
Portland.
where you guys can all just kind of let your hair down,
Really?
and you're all kind of peers at the same level, and in the text I'd be like, "What the hell's going on?"
You know what was
you know
really
what I mean?
cool? Rob is like, what?
Hey man, we're breaking down walls.
Portland. Come on, man. That guy's crazy, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you know what? Behind,
She can't say it. I'll say it.
I would say that Nadine and the mayor of Portland probably have more in common than we think. You know what I mean?
we are
Probably
like
not. But
we're like on the border of Idaho. Like, come on.
Okay. Day-to-day stuff, though. You know what I mean? Like the kind of stuff you have to deal with.
well, I mean, we have the same types of issues.
Right.
We just,
Right.
deal with them differently. But I will say that during the majority of the pandemic, I was on a call every other week with the mayors of the 5 biggest cities in the state of Washington. We're all women.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, even Walla
Pretty
Walla?
cool. Are you from Walla Walla?
The city's so nice they named it twice. No, I'm not.
Oh, I love Walla Walla. Walla Walla wasn't on that call.
Oh,
but it was.
Wait, let's see if we can name them.
Yeah.
I want to
Okay,
know.
yeah.
Seattle,
Of course.
Tacoma,
Yep.
Spokane,
Spokane,
Federal Way,
Federal Ways,
Bellevue,
Bellingham.
Ellensburg.
Nope.
Oh my God.
I thought
Starts with
Ellen-
an E. One of them starts with an E.
Enumclaw, Ephrata.
Everett.
Everett.
And then
Is that 4?
That's 4.
Or
And then if I tell you what
Oh, Vancouver.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
Is Vancouver number 3?
I think it's 3 or 4.
Okay.
Tacoma's 3.
Well, now that
We're
we're
2. Vancouver, I believe, is 4.
on the other side of it, are you guys going to do like a trip?
We're
celebrate?
We're too busy. Who's had time for trips? Who's had time for any
You're talking to the wrong guy.
vacations?
You're talking to the wrong guy.
Yeah.
I just spent a week in Hawaii for no reason.
Good for you. Oh, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, back to the task at hand. December 2019, it's funny. We talked a little bit about how divided we are as a country, kind of in an unprecedented way. And I think at that point, we thought that we were kind of getting towards the other side of it. Here we are. Unfortunately, it looks like, if anything, COVID has solidified that divide even more. Do you think now, in the healing process of all of this, even locally?
Yeah, there's
What's your
definitely a
opinion?
political divide in
Yeah.
this country, which is just really unfortunate. I came into office wanting to build relationships with our city council, knowing that the mayor, before no fault of anybody, I'm not blaming anybody, did not have a relationship with, they just didn't talk. And I knew coming in, I had to do something different. So I spent the last year and a half building relationships with each member of the council so that we could lean in on the stuff that we agree on and get that kind of work done, but also develop a relationship and build trust so that we could have conversations when we don't agree on things. And there are things we don't agree on, but we have to be able to talk. I can't just close my door and and decide not to talk to them. We have to have that dialogue and conversation. So that's what I've spent the majority of my time. I really believe, though, especially the city of Spokane, it's so compassionate. It's so resilient. People will say gritty, whatever you want to say about us.
Blue collar.
Hardworking.
Yeah.
Doesn't suck.
They know exactly. I hate that Spokane sucks. But I think we'll be stronger. We're stronger on the other side of this. We're more resilient because we've come together to deal with this.
Well, people are moving here like crazy.
Boy, that is, talk about a crisis. We got a housing crisis right now. We've got people in droves moving to Spokane from up and down the West Coast. Spokane, Portland, L.A., where we don't have houses for all these people. We're suffering some growing pains right now, for sure.
What has the population increase been since you've been sworn in?
They're saying that as many as 8,000 to 10,000 a month are moving here.
What?
Yeah.
That's Spokane County or Spokane?
That's the region.
They're the region.
That's
Okay.
the region.
Yeah.
But we're in a healthy housing market. We're supposed to have 6 months inventory. We have like 10 days.
Yeah.
I'm hiring people at the city from out of town that don't know where they're going to live.
Or even move, like rent or
Yeah.
anything.
Oh yeah. Ownership or rent or whatever. I mean, we need new housing units at all income levels and at all stages of rental, home ownership, all of that. But a lot of cities are facing the same thing.
Sure. Well, I come from a city where there's a mass exodus.
Yes,
I bet 8,000 to 10,000
Yeah.
people a day are leaving the San Francisco
And they're all
area.
moving into the Kootenai County, and the hardcore Idaho people I'd hang out with, they're like, those Kootenai-fornians, we can't hang out with those guys. And I'm like, it's Idaho. Isn't that all the same? And they're just look at Coeur d'Alene as a liberal spot now.
Yeah, that's
Interesting. Well, the Kardashians were there for the 4th of July.
you know what?
No, we're not getting into that world. I'm sorry.
Come on, Rob.
Mark Wahlberg's been up there all year.
I'll take Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, you want
him?
Here's the problem with the Kardashians, and I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. Everything they touch kind of just, yes, it turns into gold, but it also turns into some crazy things in their life. I'm just going to say that.
I'll take the gold.
Oh, no, I ain't want that gold.
Well, one might be the governor of California pretty soon. We won't get into that.
We're not going there.
A bright spot in COVID, specifically in the region, has been Gonzaga basketball.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Back it up before we get into the positive, more negative. How devastated were you when, one day it comes out that the NC2A says there's going to be no fans at the Spokane Arena?
Yeah.
This like every 3 years it happens, so people plan their springs around it to come see Gonzaga because it's not guaranteed you can see them in the McCarthy Athletic Center. That's devastating. From that to the tournament canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, you had bigger fish to fry, sure, but that had to be a big blow.
That was all part of it. We were seeing every event that we've ever had in the city canceled, but that's a huge one. And I'm very good friends with Stephanie Curran, who runs the arena and the convention center, the PFD, and devastating to the community, devastating to the school, devastating to the fans. I mean, that was a tough blow, a really tough blow.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It was just so heavy.
And you think of the players who missed out on that year. We came back and we did really well the year after, but all of that, I really believe that psychologists are going to be studying the impacts of COVID for years to come, particularly on young people.
Oh, 100%.
Rob and I are on the wrong side of 30, but we're in our early 30s. We could shake this off. Like, honestly, last time we talked to you, December 2019, in a lot of ways feels like 10 years, but in other ways feels like 6 weeks ago,
Right.
So we'll be able to shake it off, whatever. It's Rob's kids.
Yes.
How
old are your kids?
9, 5, and 3.
Oh, yeah.
If you had
But we're in Mead, so we're normal. We're good. We're cool. Don't worry about that. Mead's a little bit better.
Mead figured it out early.
Yeah.
Got their kids back to school in a hybrid fashion. And then,
Yeah, we were fine. A lot of things were normal around my house, so we were cool.
But if you were a junior in high school, or in
your
college,
senior
and you missed
year.
senior year,
all those traditions that you missed out on, just devastating. And I talked to a lot of classes, on Zoom, and tried to give them a message of hope that your class that missed out on so much. But you're going to be known as the class that survived a global health pandemic, and the experience you gained from that is just going to follow you throughout your life.
That's cool. I'd still rather have prom.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you would, Jack. You would.
Did you go to prom?
You know what's funny? So, not to toot my own horn, but I was homecoming king.
Oh, of course you were.
What?
Oh, my God.
I found a way to tell everyone that I was homecoming king on the podcast. That's perfect.
Oh, my goodness.
No, but then my mom, I got in trouble with my mom or something. Go figure. It was totally not my fault. And then it was like March. It was like March, so prom was in like 6 weeks or something. And my mom was like, you know what? You're paying for your own prom. I'm like, all in, it was like $150 or something, which is a ton of money when you're 18. And to like stick it to my mom, I was like, fine, I'm not going to prom. And it's something I still regret. I was like too proud to go to prom. And like,
well, dude, I can't get over you were king.
Yeah, I was king.
So what do you have to do to be king?
Well, dude, there's like the song and dance. Do they not do this in Canada?
No, we have formals, and one formal. It was a bad night for me. But
were you not royalty?
Oh, far from it. Let's just say Mama Leslie had to come pick me up.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. It was not a good one.
Were you homecoming queen, prom queen?
Gosh, no.
No.
Oh no, I'm far from it.
Really?
Oh no.
Were you a bad girl in high school?
No. I was a good girl. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so bright spot, Gonzaga basketball.
Yes.
I really do think through the winter that is a pick-me-up that Spokane desperately needed and got.
Absolutely.
Like, what a godsend to have that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what carried us through. I really think as a community. I mean, we've come together as a community because of basketball and certainly GU and, that school and that program and Mark Few, they put this city on the map. And we've gained so many great things because of it. But this community really rallied in our homes, and maybe some covert,
watch parties.
I don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking
Wink,
about.
wink. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But that got us through the darkest, deepest part of this pandemic. I really believe that.
Hats off to you for making good on your mayor's bet with the mayor of Waco.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
Talk me. How does that conversation happen? Do you reach out to him? Did his people reach out to you?
Well, I have to say, when we were in the Final Four
Mm-hmm.
and we reached out to LA's mayor,
Yeah.
Garcetti,
Good luck on that one.
that never happened.
Oh, he never got back to you?
No, I mean, we had a standing bet that the losing team or the losing mayor would wear the face mask of the other city. That never happened.
Whoa.
Excuse me. Oh, so it was in.
Oh, yeah, it was a bet.
Is there like
hold on.
It was a bet. He tweeted it out. He agreed
tweeted
to
it
it.
out?
He agreed to it and then never followed through.
Oh man.
Wait a minute.
This is breaking news right here.
So what did you have to do? You would have had to wear L.A.
Yeah.
up here? Oh, people would have hated that.
Well, it's like for a picture.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like I had to do
People
it all
would've
day.
You
It
didn't have to
would've
fly the
hated
flag,
that,
UCLA flag?
wasn't even the flag. It was just the face mask at that
Okay.
time.
All right.
And then we elevated it to the school flag
Okay.
for the championship game.
Any exchange
I
of
w-
goods from Spokane to Waco?
Just
No,
the flag.
just the
And
flag.
a video.
Should have put it behind a pickup.
Let me tell you something.
We
So
flew the flag over City Hall.
you flew the Baylor flag over City Hall, which is it's good you did rather than not do it. You don't want to.
My word's my word.
Yeah, there you go.
Garcetti.
There you go. I do appreciate that. I think you waited like a week to do it.
We had to wait for their flag to be sent to us.
Oh, okay. Because had you done it the day after or like 2 days
Yeah.
after, that would have.
Yeah. No, we waited for them to send it to us.
I didn't talk to anybody for a couple days after.
He was an emotional wreck.
Oh,
was in a
man.
bad
it
spot.
was
Yeah.
it was kind of sad.
That was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for you, Jeff.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for you, Rob.
I'm all right. I'll make it through.
So you weren't able to go to Indianapolis.
No.
Knock on wood. Should we go to New Orleans? Will you be
Would
down
that not be a great trip or
Yeah.
what?
You just tell me. Let's go, Nadine.
Let's do it. And I wanted to have a citywide parade. So that
there? Did you
was
have the
another
route
thing.
picked out?
We had it all.
Oh,
figured out.
details.
Well, I'm saving that for next year.
Talk to me.
Okay.
We were going to go through that. We were going to do a big thing on Monroe Street Bridge.
Monroe
We were
Street
gonna
Bridge.
and it had to be COVID compliant. We
Yeah.
were going to have bands lined up. We were going to have all kinds of stuff. But you know what? Next year, we're not going to have to deal with these regulations, and it's going to be an all-out party.
I'm talking about.
So on Monday night would have been the championship game. When was the parade scheduled? Thursday or Friday?
I believe it was at the end of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this. I was in Indianapolis and I booked a flight from Indy straight to Spokane before going home to San Francisco because I wanted to be here for the parade.
Oh,
Let me tell you,
What'd
it was the saddest trip from Indianapolis to Spokane after the loss.
Oh, I know. But the community was there for the team when they landed here.
Yeah, I did see
and
that. That was cool.
It was great.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So can you confirm here that you will be in Indianapolis? Should Gonzaga go?
Or New Orleans.
New Orleans, sorry.
Heck yeah.
We'll get some hurricanes.
Yeah.
together.
Oh, I've never been to that city. Always.
wow.
Oh, really?
I was scheduled to go there right before Katrina hit. Had purchased a vacation package through an auction that I had gone to.
Oh, right on.
We had the whole vacation
well,
plan, and then
We're
Katrina
gonna make
wiped
a good
everything
old
out,
time
so,
of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good friend of ours, good friend of the podcast, so you can be honest with us. Did Matt Santangelo cry when you told him Hoop Fest couldn't happen last year?
I wasn't in that room.
Okay.
I wasn't part of that conversation. He was meeting a lot with the health district and the city, and I know it was talk about a blow. Okay,
That's a huge blow.
so
That's
that
probably was that a bigger blow than the tournament? You think it's up there?
It's right up there. It really is, and that event. My goodness, the economic impact, is like
Right.
$50 million.
I can't
to the
imagine.
City. We tried everything possible to make that happen, and even now, even this year, have had to change not just the date, which is probably good because it was 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Right.
Weekend that it would normally happen here to September, and make sure that we don't plan for something that's going to be canceled again.
Yeah.
So trying to push it out far enough that we could do it was a big deal.
Now this year, it's going off without a
September.
hitch, right? September.
So far,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, people are talking about variants and things. We got to keep the community safe. Our community is not vaccinated to the level that it really needs to be, but
Yeah.
I think we can do this event. It's outside. We can spread it out.
Vitamin D.
We have lots of zinc, vitamin D.
That's what it is. People
Vitamin D is sun, though, right?
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So people need to load up on vitamin D before going out into the
Just if you get this thing, just go outside.
Oh, got
You
it.
can get tons of vitamin D before the actual event. I mean, we've had lots of sunshine.
That's all. Vitamin D, zinc. People don't talk about actually like putting things that are like healthy in your body to kill this thing off.
Got it.
Yeah,
And
building up your immune system.
Yep.
So I hate to ruin the fun and get back into COVID stuff, but I'm just so curious. I'm so curious. Do you? Because from my perspective, I think the biggest thing is a lack of communication in terms of like everything being so politicized. You're either wearing a mask or you're not wearing a mask kind of thing. I do think if people got in a room and had civil conversations that, like I said earlier, were so much more alike than we are different. Do you think that's the biggest sticking point with everyone? Like confirmation bias, you only want to listen to what backs you up, and when the truth is it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, we're in a place where everything is politicized.
Yeah.
I mean, even sports, which is really hard. Entertainment, everything. I believe that there are maybe 15% that are extreme one way, 15% extreme the other way, and
They're loud.
and they're very loud.
Yeah.
And the majority of this country is in the middle.
100%.
Yeah, maybe just left or right. I don't know,
Right.
but I think the majority are on the main road. And so it was for me. I didn't want to politicize this, but when you are getting conflicting information and guidance that's changing, as we know, it's a new virus, and so we were learning as we were going through it, and you have to be responsive. But as an elected who's trying to follow that guidance, but also hearing from the community and the resistance on this side of the state, there was a real balance. I had to balance the public health with the economic health. It wasn't one or the other. It wasn't lives over economy. It was all of that.
Yeah.
I had to think about all of it. And people just wanted to have this narrow lens of what was going on. And I'm like, can't look that narrow lens. I got to see all of what's going on. So that was a real challenge. And I didn't agree with everything that the governor was doing. And I had to advocate for my city, but that was a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
A real
I
challenge.
imagine so. Should we get into Rob's future political career here?
I want to hear all about this.
He's promoting me, which I understand because I will be the first black governor of the state. But anyways,
I love it.
But we can't talk about that right now.
Okay.
Jack is trying to promote this.
Wait, it's never too early to talk about these things, is it?
No, you got to float it out there, like Joe Rogan running
man.
for president.
Exactly. But what do you want to know, Jack? What are we trying to talk?
Well, I mean, I
are we
just
trying
want
to do?
I want to get Nadine's opinion here, because last time you were on, our dreams were dashed because we learned you had to live actually in Spokane proper to run for city council.
right.
So
Well, and you have to live within the district that you're running in. I have to run as
And it's
I
full
live
time
in.
now.
Well, it's not supposed to be.
Oh, really?
It's supposed to be part time.
Yeah. I mean, everyone who's on the city council has an alternative source of
Most
revenue,
of
right?
them
Yeah,
do.
or income.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
supposed to be
then.
part time.
Maybe I'll get into that. City council first, then we'll scoot up. And is it okay if you pass the baton to me about mayor of the city?
Would you endorse Rob
I
right
can
here?
make you mayor for a day and see how it goes, and then
Like you would, like a
we'll
little
see.
kid?
Yeah.
I'm with it. You don't need to. You know how awesome that would be.
City council Zoom meetings, and I'm sure your whole world was run by Zoom meetings,
Yeah.
right? Is that going to stick around on the local
I think
level?
to
or?
some extent,
Yeah.
because it's convenient.
It is.
It's extremely convenient.
Tell me
but
about it.
I'm going to tell you, there are some meetings you cannot have on Zoom. You just cannot. They need to be face to face at the table.
Oh, look at her. She's getting feisty. There's some feisty.
Well, I mean, when you're having a tough conversation
Yeah.
with somebody, you can't have that on Zoom.
That's true.
I need to be looking right at you, Rob.
100%.
Exactly.
I agree too.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
it's just so much better.
Because
Being in a
people-
studio doing this is so much better
People
than
are
Zoom.
much different.
Yeah.
When you're
Body
facing them
language,
in
right.
person. You know, those walls and barriers come down, those keyboard warriors,
Yep.
that are online and on social media. They're a whole lot different when you're face to
Oh,
face with somebody.
100%.
And I like having that. I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that dynamic. I'm
Yeah.
not afraid of having a face to face conversation with somebody I disagree with. Let's just break down the barriers and be honest.
I've seen you do
So-
it a few times. I've seen you do it once or twice. Never to me. I never did anything
never
wrong.
Oh, really?
Never to Jack.
She's fierce.
Never
That's
to Jack.
awesome. No, but you have to have that because we lose that whole, like you said, body language. You can pick up on somebody, and it's just more personable at the table. You just feel, and then I don't think you're as like people have some big balls to say the things they say on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
like the things they, and then when you run into them, they're like, "Oh, Jack,
Right.
that was, oh, Nadine, oh,"
Yes.
and they're all. But when you have those actual conversations at the table, and then you kind of sit down and break down what you want to talk about, then they just kind of, it's a better vibe.
It is. It's a better dynamic for sure.
I imagine it had to be tough because your personal life was probably under a microscope, like any elected official. But you look across the country during COVID, politicians on both sides of the aisle were saying, "Don't do this, stay home, stay home, stay home," and then the next day they were pictured with their family at the beach, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
So hypocritical.
right. Did you experience any of that without
No.
getting anyone in trouble?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to tell somebody to do something that I'm not going to do.
Sure. Okay.
And to be honest with you, I wasn't sure about the vaccine.
Yeah.
You know, but I knew that the only way for us to get open was to get our state vaccinated. So I said, I cannot be that politician who encourages people to get the vaccine and I don't get it. So I did it on television both times. And I was at the back of the line. You know, I was, as a government worker, I was not essential to get it before anybody else, and I wasn't going to get it before anybody else. I wasn't going to take anybody's spot. But when it came time for me to get it, I was right there on television, live, getting it.
Do you miss TV?
No. I'm on TV a lot still.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you miss TV or Life's TV?
But it's different being on the other side of the camera.
I can only
will
imagine.
tell you that. It's
Yeah.
very different.
There is, I don't want to get myself into trouble here. Maybe it's too late, but there is a certain amount of comfort when you are on the reporting side because you try your best to be open to both sides, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, you have final cut. Like you decide what goes on there.
Yep.
And it is a pretty big responsibility, and you don't realize it, I'm sure, until you're on the other end of it. You know, you could say 3-4 sentences, and somebody could clip off
Take it out of
a
context.
bite, and it's completely out of context.
Yep.
So I'm sure that, like any politician, that's got to worry you a little bit, depending on who you're talking to.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I hate that line. I hate that line because it indicates you have no control over anything. It is what it is. I have no control over that. I have no control how the media covers me.
Yeah.
I'm accessible as possible. I will interview with anybody, and I will tell you the truth. But how they cover me and how they don't cover me says a lot. So
When you ready for me to be in office with you, man?
Well, maybe we started. I think it should be noted that
She said she's looking for some team.
how about this? How about this? How about this? It was noted off air. Nadine showed up by herself, and I was like, "Where's the Secret Service? You know, where's the Spokane Secret
I could
Service?"
be your bodyguard.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because here's the thing: like Rob, like if anything, if you're walking down the street and Rob's behind you, attention automatically deflected to the 7-foot dude right behind you.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
And then
Yeah,
you can
Rob,
get.
let's talk.
Let's talk. We'll get it done. I'll be there. I'll be in the camp. Just have that. Can I get the little earpiece?
Yeah,
so I can
you
just,
get it. I'll give you whatever you need
Done.
to do the
Done.
job.
Jack, you set this up, bud.
I know. I'm a bodyguard agent.
Yeah, we are bodyguard. Kevin Costner.
So we're an hour and a half in, or an hour and a half, a year and a half into your reign as the boss of Spokane. When do you get to take a vacation?
You know what? I am going to. This is old people bucket list item. It was actually a bucket list item of a friend of mine, but we're going to Boston in the first week of August to see Billy Joel perform in Fenway Park.
You're a Billy Joel fan.
My friend is.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? I love Billy Joel.
I like Billy Joel. It's not my favorite. But he'll be good.
We
It'll be
didn't
fun.
start the fire.
It was often burning since the world's been turning.
Oh wow, you are.
Oh, I'm like,
You should go.
I was born like 30 years too late.
Oh.
I always have that.
I think we
opinion.
both. That's why we get along so well. We're like
Yeah.
old souls.
Old
for sure.
souls.
It's really comforting.
Old
Jack.
souls and wise. Does wisdom come from
One out
that?
of two ain't bad.
The wisdom sometimes. I don't know about that.
So what's on the docket for the back end of this term here? Now that COVID is
Well, I'll tell
just
you
about-
what. The first half of my first term will be responding to COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got 2 years left on my first term after that. A lot of it's going to be on economic recovery and building businesses back up, making them resilient, and dealing with the homeless and the housing. I mean, it's going to be the same thing, just addressing it a little bit differently. But I am going to run for re-election because,
of course,
I mean, the first half of my first term has been, co-opted, with a pandemic. And so I need to run again so I can do the work that I want to do.
We got to get Mayor Kip and you in the same room.
I mean, again, I don't care what your background is. I don't care what you wanted to accomplish at the beginning of your term in any city, anywhere. If your term began in January 2020, forget about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crisis management.
Yep.
Over and over again,
Pretty
day
much.
after day. Well, gee whiz, Mayor Nadine Woodward.
Man,
excellent
we
stuff.
appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You guys are so great. This is just such a nice bright spot in my day where I can leave City Hall and all the issues there and come and hang out with you guys.
Too bad we got things to do later on. I say let's have a beer right now, but we got things to do, man. Maybe Jack could probably have a beer right now.
Oh yeah, another one.
and to see you guys and to see Jack and I know our desks were just 5 feet from each other at KXOY and great guy. Everybody loved working with him.
The best thing about Jack is you cannot see him for years, and when you meet up, it's like nothing's changed.
That's the sign of a great friendship.
100%.
It really is.
It really is. That's why I love.
You pick up where you left off, and there's nothing in between that jades anything or changes anything. That's a sign of a true friendship.
I wasn't homecoming king for nothing. It's my humility too.
That blows my mind.
So humble.
Oh man, I would love to see you. Do you have the picture?
Oh yeah, I'm wearing puka shells.
Oh my god!
Highlights in your hair.
It's very mid 2000s.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Oh my.
Puka shells. Did you pick up some new ones when you were in Hawaii?
No. I was actually wearing puka shells way too late in life. I was wearing puka shells like a year and a half, maybe 2 years after they were
watching American Pie and stuff.
Yeah. I never had. I think we talked about this. I never had bleached tips though. My mom wouldn't let me have bleached tips.
Everybody wanted. I bleached my son's.
Did
tips.
you?
Yes.
Your son's how old?
You know what? He's getting married this year. COVID canceled the wedding last year. And so he's 29. He's getting married in South America in December.
Oh, my
goodness. So that's going to be my big vacation. We're going to Cartagena, Colombia.
Yeah.
And they're getting married on an island right off Cartagena.
How have your kids handled being the first kids of Spokane?
They're out of here.
That's actually probably ideal for everybody.
Grown. They
right?
don't care.
Yeah.
They see something on social media. Oh, Mom, sorry somebody said that to you.
Yeah.
Like, I can handle it. It's okay. No, they're great.
Man, she's the best.
She's the best.
We
Nadine
appreciate
Woodward.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great to see you guys.
From